So recently I decided that I would set up this YouTube channel, and due to less than ideal timing I wasn't actually able to put the original video out that I wanted to do, which was to explain a bit about myself and what I intend to achieve and what I aim to produce on this YouTube channel called GrassChat Autograss Racing. Now, I started on Facebook with my GrassChat page 6 years ago, almost to the day. And I wanted there to be a Facebook page relating to the sport of autograss because at the time there wasn't much in going on with club pages on websites. They weren't really proving that popular, and forums were starting to drop off, so they weren't being used as much either, and the social networking platform of Facebook was really beginning to take off. So I decided to take advantage of that and try and help the sport out somewhat by having a dedicated page to the sport where information could be shared, photos and videos and everything like that, and just keep people out there in the know of what was going on within the sport, because other platforms were out there and not being used anymore, such as magazines and other things like that. So I thought making a page called GrassChat would be the ideal place to go. But before that, a little bit about me, and then going on to what I intend to do on YouTube. So a lot of people know me. My name is Russell. I've been brought up around the sport. My dad was heavily involved within autograss racing for many years. He was club chairman of Scunthorpe and Districts Motorsports Club from I think it was 1999 right up until he sadly passed away in 2018. So I've grown up within the sport, following my dad, who used to race at the time in Class 3 and later Class 9, and of course there was no doubt that I was going to have a go when I turned to the age of 12. And I started racing in 1999 at that age of 12. And I can't really say I had a glittering racing career. Moving on to where I became a bit more known was the commentating side of it. Now, when I was going to be turning 16, I wasn't actually old enough to race at the first meeting of the year at Scunthorpe. I was 15 at the time. I could have stayed in juniors, but my brother was due to start racing later that year, and with us only having one car, it made sense for me to just miss one meeting and then go in the men's classes when I turned 16. So I think it was on my birthday, I was 16, and it was at our meeting. I raced in the men's. But because I had nothing to do at that first meeting of the year, my dad asked me if I wanted to have a go at commentating. Now, at the time, we had a regular commentator, Mr. John Eric, who still does it now at Scunthorpe. But my dad thought we could do with just a bit more help in that department. So unknowingly, I decided I would have a go at it. I had no experience at all. Being only a 15-year-old, not many at that young age actually have a go at the commentating side of things. So I thought, why not? I'll give it a go. And God's honest truth, I actually spent many weeks practicing on the PlayStation, playing racing games and commentating on myself with how I was doing in the races. Fortunately, I was doing better on the PlayStation games than I was racing in real life. As I said, didn't really have the most outstanding racing career, as a lot of people know. But I also thought that this would make some personal gains by doing commentating to myself. I was quite a shy kid growing up. I didn't really have a massive group of friends out there, and I wasn't like a wild child or anything. I was very reserved and very shy and quiet. So I thought doing something like this where you can express yourselves, not directly in front of people because you were in the commentary box, so you didn't have people really watching you, but they were listening. I did think it would be a step to help myself get some self-confidence in how I talk and present myself when growing up. So I remember I grabbed the microphone at the first ever meeting that I did, and at the time I was given ladies racing to commentate on because it gave John just enough of a break, only about 10-15 minutes. We didn't have loads of ladies racing back then, so I only had maybe 5 races to talk about, and then John would carry on for the remainder of the day. But it was a start, and I think that's where really a lot of commentators should have started at the time. Some of them jumped right in at the deep end with full grids of fast classes and that, but I started at the time where there wasn't many cars, and I think it's harder to talk about a race where there isn't many cars in the race because they can get well strung out than it is to talk about a full grid because there's obviously lots more going on. But at the time I would start just by doing the club meetings at Scunthorpe, just commentating on the ladies racing, and then I got to talk about the odd junior race, and that led to me actually going to Trent's Baz Round. I think it was 2003 where, because I actually ended up with a class 2 at the time, and I ended up commentating at Trent's Baz Round. I was invited to commentate on, I think it was the juniors at the time, so there was only the junior saloons, there wasn't the specials then. So I got to commentate on the junior saloons. Now I remember the first day started off quite nicely with the weather. Sunday was a different story. It was very wet, very muddy, and not the most exciting of racing to see, and definitely to talk about, especially when you were so inexperienced as a commentator. But I remember I did my race for the juniors in the final when there was just a load of brown blobs going around, but then I was told to stay on the microphone because none of the other commentators could tell who was who in the races of their classes, especially the specials, when all the cars looked pretty much exactly the same. So I think I stayed on for about an hour after that, commentating on some of the other races, and that was my first experience of commentating in front of a much wider audience, and getting to talk a bit more. So that's where I really got to make my first steps and steps of progress in the world of commentating. From here, though, I got to really learn from some of the best talkers in the business in the world of autograss and commentating, like the names that I'll mention in a moment. You can't really deny that they've really created some fantastic audio moments for the spectators and racers alike. I mean, they had such a different contrast and style, but when you put them all together at one meeting, then it really was the best team that you could have, and I got the opportunity to learn from each of them for many years. I mean, when you have the likes of Steve Langley, who is really the commentator of the sport, he's the voice of it, and he has been for many years. You had Dave Walker, who provided the excitement for the classes that he did. You had George Capper, bless him, obviously sadly no longer with us, but he just created that colourful audio in his dulcet tones and the Yorkshire accent. Obviously he's going to be very, very much missed. And then you had Kevin Herdman, who created excitement in his own way, and putting all of those together, it really created something special at these race meetings, and I got to learn from them so much, and it really helped me out as a commentator and helped me evolve into how I would be on the microphone. I mean, I would listen to each of them very carefully, and other commentators as well, and just listen to how they said things, how they presented themselves, their tone and style, and just try and work myself out to try and fit in, but also be different. I wanted to provide my own style. I wanted to be able to intrigue the crowds in my own way. I didn't want to obviously rip off any of the other commentators by being a direct copy of them, but I would pick out certain phrases and sayings that they would each make and sort of adopt them but not copy them, if you could understand. I would try and create my own way of it. So if somebody said one thing, I would take that and try and make it similar, but not exactly the same. I would try and use my own version of it because I didn't want to be noted as being the same as everybody else. But just so much I got to learn from them, but I wanted to really put my own style on it. People know I'm quite loud when on the microphone. I get excited over the racing very, very easily. And I just think that is just part of how I am now. I mean, you wouldn't imagine that if you'd have first met me when I first started at 15, 16. Now I'm completely different. I really struggled in the early days, and I just owe so much to those individuals who have helped me out along the way. Now, fortunately, I've been commentating for 20 years this year. I started in 2003, and now, obviously, at 2023, 20 years on the microphone. It's certainly been some of the greatest times of my life at Autograss meetings, being able to do this and commentate at every kind of event imaginable, from everything from being invited to small club meetings. I've commentated at Spalding meetings when there was only 30 cars before. I did Scunny meetings in the older days when there was only 40, 50 cars. And now, over the years, I've been able to do BAS rounds, UK rounds, MAP Opens, North of England's, the old East Anglian Opens, and of course the National Championships, both the men's and the ladies and juniors. And I will commentate on any class, really. You don't have to. I know a lot of commentators have their own set classes that they want to talk about, and that happens today now. But if I get to be on the microphone and talk about anything, then I'm more than happy to do so. It's always an honour to be part of the meeting and being invited to do it. I don't think I have ever gone out my way and said, I want to commentate at your meeting. If somebody asks me, if I get asked to do the Nationals, if I get asked to do a BAS round or a UK round, or if I get asked to be in part of a single day club event and just help out on the microphone for a spell, I am more than happy to do so. Now, obviously, I'm rather busy with a lot of other things now, but if the opportunity is there and I can be part of it, then I really take it with both hands. The microphone, that is, as well, and be on the mic. It's always an honour to be at these meetings, and as I say, I would always rather be asked than to go out my way and say I want to commentate, because I always want to commentate if the opportunity arises. As I mentioned before, though, my racing career hasn't been quite as successful. I've been involved in some great races. Unfortunately, I haven't won many of them. But just a quick insight as to what I did. I started in the juniors, as I said, when I was a 12-year-old, and I graduated up into Class 1 for a brief spell in 2003 when I turned 16. But later that year, because at the time there was myself in the men's, my brother in the juniors, and my mum was racing at the time as well in the Class 1, it was a bit too much for one car to deal with. So my dad went out and bought me a Class 2 Nova, and later on I jumped in that, and I absolutely loved it, but and raced that for a few years. But of course, after a while, you want to win, and if you don't win races, you get frustrated. So my dad decided that we would have a change. Now, at the time, he had a Class 9. He'd had a spell out, actually. He after Class 3, he raced the Class 1 with me when I was in juniors, but then he had some time out while he focused on running the club at Scunthorpe. And then he got himself a Class 9, a Johnny Williams chassis in 2001. He got that, actually. He had a fantastic debut at Skegness Stadium. If you ever see the footage, then you'll understand why it went so not well, actually. But no, it was great watching Dad race out there. Even though he caused more carnage than he actually had race finishes on occasions. But Dad had a Class 9. Then he got another chassis off Johnny Williams, and he was going to build it, but he never got round to doing so because work pressure and chairmanship pressure just took over. So Dad decided if I wanted to race it, of course I'm not going to turn it down. And a good friend, Alex Kershaw, built the car for us. And then mid-2008, the Class 9 came out, and that's where I made my first steps into Class 9. We had the car for 2 years. Suffered a big roll at Javelin Park once in the first heat, where I remember rolling over, getting out the car, going in the ambulance. I was more bothered that I'd lost my goggles. I don't know where they went. Went in the ambulance. After that, I got out. Dad showed me the car, which was a pretty bad way, really. It wasn't a big roll in terms of number of rolls it did, but it was heavy, it landed hard, and it knocked the wind out my sails for a bit, actually. But I remember I went and had a look at the car, shed a tear or two. Dad said, "Don't worry, boy, it'll be fine, we'll get it fixed." And in the end, that actually Anthony Ross of ARD Race Cars at the time fixed the car for us. He basically rebuilt the chassis, put a whole new back end on it, straightened the front end out, and it was ready to go just before the Nationals that year. That was 2009. But yeah, I remember looking at the car, having a cry. Dad says, "Let's go for a pint." I had a pint, and then I went back to the bus which we had at the time, and went to sleep, and I missed my commentating slot. So yeah, just tying the two together there. But no, racing career, as I said, started juniors, class 1, class 2, then went in class 9. And then later on went back into class 2. Well, in fact, I raced in class 1, then class 2, then class 1 again. So that's where we are. And at the minute, yeah, I've been racing in class 1. But now my good lady Bex, she races the car, and she raced it with the men's last year. While I now focus on doing other things involved with social media side of Autograss racing. So on Friday the 24th of February 2017, I decided to set up this Facebook page called GrassChat. At the time, I didn't really know what was going to happen, how it was going to go, what the feedback would be. Would people even want to be a part of the page, even liking it or anything like that? I had no idea. But I wanted this to be a base platform for Autograss news, information, photos, videos, content, all that kind of thing. And it's where, because at the time people didn't really know what was going on a lot of the time. As I said at the beginning, forums were dying off, club websites weren't really attracting people in, and Facebook was the ideal base to do this. So I wanted to do that, and I set it up, and it basically anything relating to Autograss, then it can go on this page. From there, the page has grown over the years. I don't know how many likes it has anymore, because you can't seem to find that out, or I can't anyway for some reason. But I do know it's got at present over 7,700 followers, which I think is 7,700 more than I ever expected to be. I never imagined that people would like what I do regarding this little Facebook page. I mean, I've tried all sorts of things over the years to try and share my love of the sport. I mean, I made posters, I made cards, I made top trump cards, I did books, magazines. I've done all sorts of stuff, and they've all pretty much failed after a couple of years. So yeah, I wanted to give this a go. It didn't cost anything, obviously, to create a Facebook page, and if you make people interested, then that's great. And with the GrassChat page itself, again, as I said, with the commentating side, it really has brought out some personal benefits. The self-confidence thing has really, really helped me. I mean, if you take a look back at my first videos that I did on GrassChat, you'll see that how different I am now, not just in personal look, but because I've obviously got a bit older, but just with how I talk, you'll notice my mouth doesn't really open that much in these early videos. I'm definitely lacking in the confidence side of it. I think I was just nervous because I didn't know how this would go, and I am now doing this, but I've just grown more and gained more confidence in doing videos. I mean, doing live videos I find is really easy. Doing this pre-recorded and trying to put video clips together, it's hard work. I really don't know. I struggle. But if you look back at how I was on these early videos, you'll notice, yeah, it's just a personal benefit. It really has helped me out an awful lot compared to how I used to be. On Facebook, though, and GrassChat, really doing live video content has probably been the favourite thing that I've done. I mean, I've done little bits where I've obviously shared photos, write-ups and things like that, but doing these live videos, it's a personal enjoyment. I really, really do like it. I think, I'm not boasting myself too much, but I really do think that I was the first person to provide live content regarding Autograss. I might be wrong, but back in 2017, I think it was, I live streamed at Trent Autograss Club for the UK round. But I think I had done little bits at some club meetings as well before. So I might be wrong, but I do think, especially on quite a heavier level, I think I was the first person to actually do live video content, and from there I've done live streaming as much as possible. The pit walks people really enjoy. I mean, I'm not one to stand there and live stream an entire meeting, but I will go out and do what I can. I've live streamed the national finals back in 2018 at South Wales, 2019 at Evesham, and 2021 I didn't do actually. I said I wasn't going to do. I was hoping to do them in 2022 at Yorkshire Dales, but that didn't happen due to pesky signal interference and issues. But I still managed to video all the finals and then upload them later on and provide a running commentary on that. But I'd really enjoy doing these live videos, and I'm hoping to do more this year when I can. As the pit walks will remain, I will try and film the national qualifying in our league, or if we go anywhere else and their national qualifying, I'll attempt to film them as well, just so, because the qualifying is obviously quite interesting and exciting to watch. But overall, I just want to provide enjoyable content for people, and that's what brings me to this on YouTube now. My aim is to provide interesting, exciting content for everybody to enjoy, but I also want to try and teach myself how to be a better video editor and content provider. So this is my ultimate goal on YouTube. Is I've seen other people create their own videos, obviously vloggers and things like that. It's a massive thing now, especially in America and stuff like that. But vlogging is a big thing which people do. But I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to go down that direct route. But what I want to do is I want to try and share more of an experience of this sport. Not just through my eyes, but through maybe other people's as well. So my aim is, at the beginning, I want to keep sharing racing footage. I'm going to video some racing and post it on the channel. Any onboard videos will go direct to the channel and then shared further on. I want to do more interviews with people. So obviously I do my live pit walks, which has an interview or two thrown in. But if there's anybody out there who's up for just a couple of minutes conversation, even between races at a meeting, then just to talk about how things are going, and that just a little interview, we're going to put that on here as well for people to enjoy. But I want to build up by trying to do something like a mini documentary. First off, I'm going to throw myself in at the deep end, and I want to basically share my personal experience at a race meeting. So what happens when we get there, what we do, if we have the race car there, I'm not sure. We'll probably do a little bit about that. But above all, I want to share what I get up to at a race meeting. So it's a family side as well. Obviously, I have Bex and the boys there. So we may, whether Bex likes it or not, she might end up on camera. But the boys will probably be around as well, especially as they're growing up, because it's always great to look at that kind of stuff back as they grow up. But also, I want to just share what I get up to, so people know me, that I'm a photographer as well at racing, commentator. You could see this happen all in a bit of a documentary. And that's what I want to do. I just want to show those who maybe don't know so much what really goes on. So that's something I'm looking to do. And then going on from that, hopefully, if people enjoy it, I might be able to branch out and focus on maybe a certain race driver and just follow them around at a race meeting and sort of video them and just show people what they get up to, and maybe even a racing family. That would be the ultimate achievement and goal on this kind of thing, is where I want to basically focus on a racing family and how they go about their weekend activities at an autograss racing event. So this will definitely be a trial and error thing. I'm not expecting it to be perfect from the get-go. This video is going to be far from perfect. I know sound quality needs looking at, and my editing skills aren't definitely there yet. I've got a lot of work to do on things like that. But I just want this to be a basis. We've all got to start somewhere, and I can then watch it back and learn from it. But I want people to be involved. So if you watch this and you have any suggestions, ideas, comments which can really help out and create better video content for people to enjoy, then that's what I really want. I mean, I'm up for some criticism as long as it's not literally slated to be burned down completely. But yeah, if you've got any constructive criticism, then please just let me know. If catch me at a race meeting or whatever. If you want to be part of this, then let me know, and we can maybe arrange something in the future to do. I just want to share my passion and enjoyment and love for this sport that so many people are part of. And if you want to be part of it and share your love for the sport as well, then just let me know, and we'll sort out what we can do. As I said, it's not going to be perfect, but life isn't always perfect, and little hiccups are along the way, and I expect there to be a few with these videos. So yeah, get involved if you've got any suggestions. So this was a little bit about me and what I intend to achieve with this little channel called GrassChat Autograss Racing. Please leave any ideas or suggestions in the comment section below. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, and if you're looking to see what else I produce on this channel, then please click on the notification bell, and then you won't miss out on any future videos that I do. Yeah, thank you for watching. Wherever you are in the world, look after yourselves, and I will see you in another video, and I will see you at an Autograss event very, very soon, because the start of the 2023 season is just 1 week away. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you soon.